The story begins with a disturbing scene inside a shadowy house. A young woman is tied up in a basement-like dungeon while her boyfriend is locked in another room. Both are restrained, helpless, and tormented by someone they can't clearly see. The torture is relentless, but the girl eventually gathers enough strength to break free from her bond. She rushes to untie her boyfriend, but instead of asking to be saved, he urges her to run. He warns that if the one behind this, a figure he calls the offspring of the rhino, finds her, she won't live. Torn and terrified, she finally obeys. She bolts into the woods, chased by a rifle-wielding man. With no escape, she reaches a cliff and chooses to leap to her death rather than be caught. After this chilling prologue, the movie shifts to a couple, Mike and Cheryl, heading into the same forest for a romantic camping trip. At the ranger's office, they ask about hiking routes, and while the officer tells them they can roam anywhere, he warns the woods aren't as harmless as they look. Wanting peace, Mike and Cheryl leave their phones in the car, a choice they'll regret. Inside the forest, they quickly lose track of their path. That's when a strange woman named Ida appears, claiming she lives nearby. She suggests they visit Timber Falls, calling it quiet and beautiful. Grateful, the couple sets off in that direction. Their light-hearted mood is cut short when three armed men suddenly block their way. Their leader, Brody, tries forcing drugs on Mike, making it clear this is more threat than offer. Mike bristles with anger, but Cheryl begs him not to fight. To keep them safe, he pays the men, who finally back off. Shaken, Mike and Cheryl move on and soon reach a breathtaking waterfall. There they meet Clyde, a forest officer who explains it's a popular spot. When Mike asks where to camp, Clyde points them toward a nearby lake. They follow his advice, set up their tent, and try to relax. But as night falls, a shadowy figure lurks outside, silently watching. At dawn, Cheryl heads to the river to bathe, unaware someone is spying. The stalker seizes his chance and kidnaps her. When Mike wakes and realizes she's gone, he panics. His search leads him to two of the armed men from earlier, one of them holding Cheryl's towel. Convinced they took her, Mike explodes in fury, beating one of them until the other flees. He threatens the beaten man at gunpoint, demanding Cheryl's location, even claiming he'll blow him up if he doesn't talk. Terrified, the thug swears he hasn't seen her and only found her shawl. Mike doesn't believe him, and their fight escalates until the man pulls a knife. Mike overpowers him, knocking him out cold, then pushes on, desperately searching. Not long after, Mike stumbles upon a grotesque sight, a deer hanging lifelessly from a tree. Disturbed, he presses forward until a hunter's trap snaps shut around his leg. In agony, he collapses, helpless, until Ida suddenly reappears. She takes him to her house, cleans the wound, and bandages him. Mike explains Cheryl has been taken, but Ida only gives vague comfort. Soon after, Brody shows up, furious that Mike beat one of his men. He demands revenge, but Ida lies, saying she hasn't seen anyone. Suspicious, Brody leaves. Later, Ida offers Mike tea, but he refuses. Something about her feels wrong. What unsettles him most is that she calls him Michael, a name only his family uses. Remembering his passport had gone missing, he realizes Ida must have taken it. Confronting her, he says he doesn't trust her. That's when Ida snaps, attacking him with a rod and screaming she won't let him go. A violent struggle breaks out, but Mike manages to knock her unconscious. Searching her house, he finds a hidden door to a basement. Inside, he discovers cages holding several children, locked up like animals. Among them is Cheryl, terrified and pleading to escape. He frees her, but she warns they must flee immediately because he is coming. Before they can run, a monstrous man with a disfigured face appears, weapon in hand. A brutal fight erupts. The attacker smashes Mike in the head with a hammer, knocking him out cold. Cheryl bolts through the forest, desperate for escape, until she stumbles onto the road. A car pulls up. It's Clyde, the forest officer she met earlier. She frantically begs him for help, convinced she's safe. But her relief shatters when the disfigured man appears, and instead of protecting her, Clyde scolds him for letting her run. Before she can react, Clyde slams a rod across her head, knocking her out cold. When Cheryl awakens, the nightmare has only deepened. She and Mike are dressed as if for a wedding, surrounded by Clyde, Ida, and the monstrous man, the couple is forced into a twisted marriage ceremony. Clyde preaches about their strict biblical code, claiming Mike and Cheryl sinned by being together before wedlock. To set things right, they must marry. The disfigured man is revealed as Ida's brother, Deacon, a violent enforcer of their warped beliefs. That night, Deacon sneaks into Cheryl's room, trying to touch her, but Ida scolds him like a disobedient child and sends him away. Meanwhile, Clyde reveals the group's true goal. Since he and Ida cannot have children, they expect Mike and Cheryl to provide them with offspring. Cheryl pleads for freedom, but Ida coldly tells her it's the only way. Morning brings fresh torment. Deacon drags Mike away and ties him up. Ida interrogates Cheryl, demanding to know if they've been intimate. When Cheryl denies it, Clyde threatens Mike with brutal punishment. To prove his point, Deacon slashes Mike's back and pours alcohol into the wound, leaving him screaming in agony. Cheryl suffers too. Ida slices her fingers simply to enforce their twisted rules. Meanwhile, Clyde pushes Mike's car into a river to erase all trace of them. But Rudy, the hunter from before, is still searching. He confronts Clyde, who lies, claiming the couple already left. Rudy doesn't buy it. His instincts tell him something's wrong. Back in captivity, Cheryl begins to break. Exhausted, she tells Mike maybe he should give in to save their lives. Mike refuses, showing his strength, but their suffering only continues. Elsewhere, a ranger receives a missing persons report about the couple and sends a junior officer to investigate. She questions the three hunters, showing them photos. Though they deny seeing Mike and Cheryl, suspicion stirs, and they start to suspect Clyde. Inside the cabin, the plan unravels when Cheryl shocks Ida by laughing in her face and claiming she's already pregnant 2 months along. The revelation destroys Ida's scheme. Everything they forced on Cheryl is now meaningless. Panic sets in. Just then, the hunters storm the house, convinced Clyde is hiding something. Clyde and Ida rush to confront them, leaving Mike and Cheryl behind. The hunters' suspicions prove right. Clyde ambushes one of them in the basement, killing him brutally. Another sneaks inside and discovers disturbing evidence confirming the couple's ordeal. Ida, panicked, whispers to Clyde about forcing an abortion, but Clyde coldly suggests killing Mike and Cheryl outright, then finding another couple. He heads to the basement with murder in his eyes. But Mike has finally broken free. Spotting a gun, he shoots Clyde the moment he enters. Clyde drops dead, his reign ending instantly. Ida finds his body and lets out a furious scream. Enraged, she attacks Mike, striking his injured back over and over. Just as Mike falters, Cheryl breaks free and joins the fight. Together, they overpower Ida, trapping her in the basement before running for their lives. The danger isn't gone. Mike is badly hurt and can barely move. Cheryl dashes back inside, desperate to call the police, but Deacon emerges from the shadows. He lunges at her. In a burst of survival instinct, Cheryl grabs a heavy wooden cross and smashes it across his face. Deacon, disfigured further, stumbles in pain. Refusing to let him recover, Cheryl lights a bottle of alcohol and hurls it at him, engulfing him in flames. But Ida isn't finished. She crawls back into the fight, sneaking up behind Mike and striking him. Seeing her husband in danger, Cheryl unleashes her fury. She seizes a sword and in one swift motion decapitates Ida. The nightmare is finally over. Shaking, Cheryl finds a working phone and calls the police. Relief and exhaustion pour through her voice as she begs for rescue. The story jumps forward 1 year. The horrors of Timber Falls are behind them, though the scars remain. Mike and Cheryl, now parents, gently put their baby daughter to sleep. Their home is calm and filled with peace, a sharp contrast to the nightmare they endured. The movie ends on this quiet image: survival, love, and resilience born from unthinkable trauma.
End the movie. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other recaps and subscribe for more content. And leave comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.